Last week I quit my job to stay home and make art. This shirt actually turned out pretty terrible, but because this was my day of work, I spent quite a bit of time recording this process. I have to show it to you anyway, so let's learn together what not to do. I've had this style turn out very well several times, but this time I did a few things differently and it did not look good. So I'm going to show you at the end what not to do. So anyway, the tying process was fine. This wasn't part of the problem. You just draw out your little face emoji and then align the sinew on the lines that you drew and pull it tight. I like to use a PVC pipe to pull it tight. And then I decided that I was going to ice dye this today. In the past, I used the cold mist method with my hose attachment in the utility sink, but I was like, oh, let's be fancy about it today and do some ice dyeing. So I sprinkled on the Procyon dye and sprinkled on the soda ash onto a dry shirt, did the ice dye, and here we go. Let's take this off. I got a little impatient, so I took off the remaining ice, soaked it in the hot water bin for about an hour and a half, and then I rinsed it out. Okay, here is the ugly shirt in question. I feel like if it were a geode shirt, this would be beautiful, but because I was trying to make a face, he looks a little demonic, honestly. Okay, so what happened here? I wanted all the lines to look like this. Instead, they got filled in here by the raven in the ice dyeing process. Blues and raven seep under ties a lot easier than other colors. So what could I have done differently here? I could have wrapped the sinew more times and pulled it tight to hopefully block out the color from getting under the tie. Also, I could have pre-moistened the shirt before ice dyeing. I dyed this shirt dry and then put dye directly on the shirt and then ice on top of that. That is how you fill in lines. And usually that's my goal, to have the lines filled in with color and then contrasting colors between the lines with geode shirts. I just kind of like didn't think about that when I was doing this. So if you want your lines to stay white, then make sure the shirt is moist when you start dyeing it, or put the dye on top of the ice so that the ice will start melting, get the shirt wet, and then the dye starts hitting the shirt. Tie the shirt up and then soak it in soda ash, then spin it out in your washing machine, or you don't even have to spin it out. There are times where it's just dripping wet in soda ash water, and then I dye it, and that will keep the lines white because the dye can't get under the ties when there's already liquid filling that spot. Also, if I had done the misting method, or I just used my sprayer attachment with the hose, that usually keeps the lines white. So anyway, I mean, it's kind of growing on me a little bit, I think because it's so ugly, but I hope that this can help you. If you use different colors, that also would have helped. Like reds do not go under the ties. If I had just simply not used blue and only used reds, that also would have helped. So, okay, thanks for watching. Bye.